Jack Phillips, the Colorado cake baker, has won his latest court case, and we can hope and pray that this is the last one this poor man has to go through. But the question is, what can we learn from what he has had to go through, and how can we apply it to what so many of us are dealing with today? Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I do appreciate you clicking on the video to watch it. And since you are here, I would love it if you would help me to grow this channel and hit that subscribe button now and make sure that your notifications are turned on so that you never miss an upload or a live stream. And of course, to those of you that are returning, you know how much I truly do appreciate your continued support on my channel. And I hope that you are subscribed as well. So guys, this is a story that I haven't been able to get out of my head since the latest development was shared yesterday or a couple of days ago, depending on the day that I upload this video. But I think there are so many aspects to this that are relevant to all of us, particularly at this moment in time, especially with so many challenges that we are facing. And this is not about just the political issues, but about the spiritual warfare that we are involved in. I think many of us can acknowledge this is not about Democrats versus Republicans anymore. This is truly about right versus wrong and good versus evil. And politically, of course, I am not saying that the Republican Party is without fault or that the leaders on the right check all of the moral boxes or that I don't question a lot of the behavior and decisions that a lot of people on both sides of the political aisle make these days. But I do vote right because I do wholeheartedly believe that this is the party that is going to protect our right to free speech, our right to defend ourselves, our family, and our loved ones, and the right to practice our religion freely. Above anything else, we need to be able to worship in the way that helps us to feel stable and connected to God and allows us to express those values outwardly. Because if we're not able to share our light during these extremely chaotic times, the only thing that we're going to be left with is darkness and chaos and anger. And it's clear that we have so many people today that really thrive on anger and fear and hostility and need all of those things in order to persuade people to join them and to follow them. And because of that, it is necessary for us to be able to maintain the ability to counter hostility with light and truth and joy. And I mean actual joy, not the kind of joy that Kamala and Tim Jazz Hands Waltz are selling us. So I know that that was kind of a long lead up to what I want to talk about, but this gets me to the story that I want to touch on and why I think it's so incredibly important to be aware of it and to understand the significance of it. And this is about the Colorado cake baker, Jack Phillips, and his long-standing legal battle in the Colorado courts over his right to free speech and to be able to practice the things that he believes in and not be forced to practice things that he does not believe in. After 12 years of fighting legal battles in the state of Colorado, it was announced yesterday that this latest lawsuit, the last one, which is the third that he has been involved in since 2012, was rejected by the Colorado Supreme Court. According to this article from the New York Post, it says Colorado's Supreme Court threw out a lawsuit Tuesday against a Christian baker who refused to make a pink and blue cake for a transgender woman who said she wanted it to celebrate her transition. The Centennial State's High Court rebuffed the suit on procedural grounds in a 6-3 opinion. Masterpiece Cake Shop proprietor Jack Phillips had been sued by attorney Autumn Scardina, who is transgender, in 2017 as part of an anti-discrimination claim. Phillips is famous for declining to make a cake for a same-sex wedding in 2012, which turned into a national case that wound up before the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, as I have mentioned before, my husband is from Colorado. I met him when I moved there, and we lived there for 13 years until we moved to Texas in 2021. So this bakery is about 10 minutes from where we used to live, and I have actually been there. I have purchased a cake from Jack. I went there in 2021 to show support for his business and just let him know that the community was standing with him. So I have met him. This man just wants to run his business and do the thing that he is passionate about and talented at. As for these lawsuits, if you're not tuning in and really haven't been paying attention to what has been going on, you would really think that this was a Christian business owner refusing to do business with a gay couple or a transgender individual, which there might be grounds for a case of discrimination, but that is not what is happening at all. In 2012, when this all started, it was a gay couple that wanted Jack to create a custom wedding cake to celebrate a same-sex wedding. He did decline to make that specific cake, but offered to sell the couple anything that was available in his shop or make a cake for another event for them. So he still agreed to do business with them. He didn't kick them out. He was not rude or anything of that sort to these people, but he wouldn't make a custom cake based on this request because it would force him to send a message that went against his beliefs. And that's where this all started after that particular couple launched a complaint for his refusal to cave to their demands, which would lead to 2 more lawsuits. So just to go into a little bit of what that has looked like, this is an article from USA Today. It says Phillips' business, Masterpiece Cake Shop, was first sued in 2012 when he declined to bake a cake to celebrate a same-sex wedding. That case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and Phillips won. It was a narrow decision, however, that focused only on Colorado officials' hostility towards Phillips' faith, not the free speech elements of the case. That left the door open for further legal action, and that's what happened. The same day the High Court agreed to take on Phillips' case, transgender attorney Autumn Scardina requested that Phillips make a cake symbolizing and celebrating a gender transition. Scardina also requested a cake depicting Satan smoking marijuana. Phillips declined both requests, and then Scardina sued. So first, I think it goes without saying that this person, Autumn Scardina, who is a biological male, is an especially hostile individual. He went out of his way to target Jack Phillips and bully this person into saying and expressing something that directly contradicts what he believes. And as I've also mentioned before, I've been in the wedding industry for about 14 years, and Colorado specifically, where I've done the majority of my business, is one of the top destination wedding places in the entire country. And the reason I'm throwing that in there is because there are probably thousands of bakeries that make cakes for all kinds of events and all different price points. Not only that, I've also been in a lot of wedding vendor groups that are specific to Colorado, and there are countless vendors who specifically put themselves out there as LGBTQ friendly. So the only reason that this person went after Jack Phillips was to bully and harass him, and Autumn Scardina is definitely the bad guy in this situation. This behavior is absolutely vile, and I think it also speaks to how much these people seem to have to go out of their way to drum up drama and intentionally put themselves in situation to get a reaction out of people and then cry discrimination and transphobia. Like, if some of you, and I'm not saying all of you because there are plenty of people who live this lifestyle and just go about their business and do their thing and nobody's bothering anyone, but if some of you would just be normal and not go out of your way to find ways to get a negative reaction from people, then you'd be a lot less miserable than you are now, and you'd find other things to do besides trying to make everybody else as miserable as you are. Anyway, the main reason I wanted to discuss this story is for 2 reasons. First, I am so glad that it turned out the way that it did, and as Jack's attorney has said, it's time to leave this man alone. But secondly, Jack really represents the battle that so many of us are being asked to face right now, and he has stood his ground for over a decade. And I think those of us, especially that are truly trying to stand up for what is right, need to be prepared for the fact that things are going to be challenging for quite some time. We need to remember to not give in, no matter how tired and exhausted we feel. And even if we feel like this is never going to end. Jack could have ended this thing a long time ago. It would have been so much easier for him to bake these cakes. He would have sacrificed a day of his time, and that's it. Not 12 years. Simply putting those ingredients together would have saved him so much stress and so much harassment and so many customers, and he would have not had to deal with any of this nonsense. But he didn't. And I think this last part of the article says exactly what we need to hear. As this journalist is asking Jack Phillips about the things that have kept him going over the last several years, as I asked what's kept him going all this time, even though it's been emotionally and financially trying on him and his family. When he couldn't continue to make wedding cakes, starting with his first legal fight, his business took a significant hit. It's the right thing to do, Phillips told me. These rights not only protect me, but they protect the people who are suing me. And they're worth fighting for, because if I lose my rights, we all lose these rights. I just think that Jack is the example that we all need right now. And the message is stay strong, keep going, stay close to God, and keep standing up for what is right. But I would love to hear all of your guys' thoughts on this in the comments below. Please be sure to hit that like button. Make sure that you are subscribed. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.